Welcome back to week 6. Today we are going to walk through a few advanced features for Google Sites. So I did a really in-depth video in our level 1 bootcamp for Google Sites. I'm going to go ahead and link it just as a refresher because Google Sites can kind of be um, a little bit of an intimidating product just because it has so many options, but it is really, really a great tool. So you were using a Google site as you go through this boot camp today as well. So we're going to take a look at some things today. So again, in level 1, we talked about like how to make a site, how to publish the site, how to make a copy, and things like that. So today we're going to learn a little bit more about the interactivity of Google Sites and especially the accessibility feature. So this is another great reason why Google Sites are a great tool to use is because of the accessibility features. I also just want to go over a refresher on adding a video, adding in some Google files. So I'm actually going to follow through the to-do list that's on here, but I'm just going to do it on a test page on a Google site. So I am on my instructional technology resources website. I just made a new page by clicking my plus sign right here. And if you'll notice right here, just a little trick. So you'll see that slash through. I went to my 3 dots and I put remove from navigation. So what that, or hide from navigation. So what that means is that this page is not listed in the navigation menu. The only way that a user will be able to get to this page is if I link it to another page. One example that I'll show you is over here on the home page for new employees, programs, and approved technology. Those pages are all located under resources, but they are not in the navigation menu. So you have to go to this link to be able to get those. So just a little bonus thing for you right there. So I want to pull up this article. If you actually click the hyperlinked text in the Google slide, it will give you all of the things on making a Google site more accessible. So I just wanted to point out a couple of those because they are very, very important to use in society today to make sure that our information is getting to all users possible. Alt text is really important. Alt text is going to be when you're using a screen reader. Instead of just saying the word image, that it's going to give a description of the picture. One great thing about our new program we're going to be using next school year called Parent Square is that it actually uses AI to generate alt text, and they are very specific to your images. So anybody who is using a screen reading software will be able to get a very detailed description using that AI generated alt text. So alt text is going to be important. High color contrast is something that you can use whenever you're doing your Google site. The site text size and the alignment will give you a couple of options. You can use your number and bulleted list, and then the informative link text. So that is also mentioned on here. All that this means is that whenever you hyperlink something, that you actually hyperlink what it is, not just the words click here. For example, on our bootcamp website, that I've got the word video instead of click here, so that the user knows that if they click that link, it's going to a video. So that's all that informative link text means. So I am going to get started. I've got my checklist over here. So instead of, it does have a title it wanted us to use. I did test page. I'm just going to call it my class site. So they want to create 3 pages. I'm just going to throw everything on here to insert a calendar, some work, and about me. So I do want to go over inserting a calendar in case you haven't done that before. So I'm going to go over here to my right side, insert and calendar. It is going to pull a list of all of the Google calendars that I own and am part of. So that is very helpful. I'm trying to find one for our Google Bootcamp that I've got right here. So I'm going to insert my Google Bootcamp calendar. You can choose the format and what mode you want to view it in, month, week, or the agenda, which is going to be just like a list. I'm going to choose month because I just prefer the way that looks. And your calendar is visible on there. So super easy for our calendar. I'm also going to add in an image. So we'll just go to images. I've got this week 5 slide right here. So right here for our image, a couple of options. You can crop it, uncrop. You can insert a link to this image, easily duplicate it, delete it, or remove it. I'm going to click on more editing options and choose alt text. So I am just going to type in meet and geo Tools, Cover Page. So whenever anybody who needs a screen reading software, whenever they scan over this image, it is going to read over that image. Now, this one is a very, I'm going to add with icons, a very detailed description. I will admit that I don't always do as many details as needed, but you can be as specific as you want to be with those, really. The more, the better. We imported a Google Calendar image. We did alt text on our image. Okay, let's throw in a couple of other Google tools. So I'm going to find a Google Doc. Let's see what we've got. We'll throw in our returning student registration document. So one thing that I want to draw your attention to, and this is so awesome because it's a new feature, people with access to your site do not have access to the file. So this is telling you that if the public is looking at this site, that the public does not have access to this document. It's going to show that screen that says you do not have access. So that I will need to go into my Google Drive and alter the permissions for this document so that they can be able to view that. So please keep that in mind with anything that you add on here. Okay, I'm gonna put in a text box real quick. And one thing I wanted to show you is that you can drag these things around. So I just pulled that text box up there. Learn how to use Google Calendar video. So I've got a link right here to my YouTube video for Google Calendar. So I have my video. I'm going to use my chain link to insert link. I'm going to apply, and it is going to underline it. I usually like to bold them. So using the word video instead of click here is using my informative text. I like to do that too, just because it eliminates some of the wordiness whenever you're typing out things. Another thing that we can add to our Google website is a map. So if you've looked at some professional websites, sometimes they have a little map that says, we're located here. So I am going to drop a place mark at 1705 Lay Dam Road. Select. So this is going to insert a map located with our little pin right there, the Chilton County Board of Education. Can add in a text box that I'm going to drag to go right here and say Chilton County Board of Education, Alabama. And then you have a map right there that would open up and someone could easily get Google Maps directions. And one of the last things that it's got on here is inviting someone to be an editor. So this is my personal website, so I'm not going to invite anybody, but if I wanted to, I'm going to click up here my little head to share. And so this is where we grant our access. My published site is going to the public, which means anybody can find and open my website. But my draft is restricted. This right here is the draft version. So if I wanted to, I could add someone like Nick to be an editor for my website. And so I would just add him in there and choose him to be an editor. I could even add an expiration that this is going to expire, tomorrow, if you wanted someone to review something, but then not have access to it the entire time. And so if I go right here, it says that he's an editor, but that access is going to expire. So if it's something you just want somebody to review, but you don't want them to have access all the time, I would highly recommend putting a date on that. You just rather be safe than sorry. And the last thing it has is adding a chart. I don't know if I have any charts located. So what this is going to do is it's going to take data from a Google Sheet and turn it into a chart. So I am looking to find something that I might could use here. Let's see. So I clicked on the Google Sheet right now. I believe it is doing some magic. You may already have to have the charts created in that Google Sheet. So Google Sheets is super easy to make a chart in. That's probably what it is looking for. And I don't have one of those done for training purposes. I'm so sorry. But I know I have talked about how to do a chart in Google Sheets before. So that would be super easy for you to find your Google Sheet document and throw it in there. So again, this was going over mostly accessibility and just a few other little features that you may have not known how to do within a Google site.